Can't, I would die. I would die.
Oh, hello there.
Pete and Allie from Two Tiny Wings here, and today we wanted to talk about some of the gross ton of announcements that Disney made over the past week about new things that are coming to Walt Disney World.
Yeah, so it seemed like Disney really wanted to kind of come out with a bunch of different things right at once. So there was a lot of things based on some new restaurants, some new movies that are out in some of the different parks, some attractions, and even some things on one of the new accommodations that you can stay at.
So let's start with the movies. There is Awesome Planet coming to the land in Epcot. There is the new Canada movie, Oh Canada is Going to Be Leaving Us, along with Martin Short. And then there is the new Beauty and the Beast sing-along in France, in Epcot.
And I would say probably one of the things that I'm excited about is the Canada movie. The new narrators, not the movie as much as the fact that the narrators they picked. It's not going to be Martin Short anymore, but it's going to be Catherine O'Hara and Eugene Levy.
Okay.
And if you don't know who they are, if you're not terribly familiar with them, Eugene Levy was the dad from the American Pie movies, and they were, if you've ever watched like Best in Show or those, they're that type of comedy from like Second City in Chicago. So I'm interested to see kind of like how their take on it, which would be kind of interesting.
That's a little, makes me a little bit more excited for it. And the Beauty and the Beast sing-along, I love me a good sing-along, and I like that it's the cartoon version, I am told, I am assured, because I'm not necessarily a fan of the live action.
One of the things I saw, and it was unclear to me exactly, and it'll be interesting to see it, is that there's a twist on it where it has, like, LeFou is going to take a role where they kind of spin it where he's kind of involved in Belle and the Beast getting together. It wasn't really clear when I was reading the little article, but I think it's similar if you've ever seen the Frozen sing-along, where there's kind of a story outside of the normal story of the movie. I think they're doing the same thing with the Beauty and the Beast one to give it a new spin on it, as opposed to just, hey, here's the movie, let's sing with it.
Maybe Josh Gad will show up like he did in the Frozen sing-along. Can you imagine? Can you imagine?
Yeah, apparently he was there this week, and so he popped in and sang along with some of the songs for the Frozen sing-along.
Yeah, I can't. I would die. I would die. All right, so that about wraps it up for the movies that are coming. Let's talk about the food. Again, Epcot is getting a ton of love. We have Space 220, which is going to be opening next year.
And not really clear, but one of the things that I've heard is that they wouldn't be surprised if they open it on February 20th. Disney likes to kind of get cute with those types of things. So if the February 20th is the date is 2/20, it might make sense they could kind of market it as, hey, we're opening it on 2/20. So it's probably that time frame. They're kind of putting the finishing touches on it now. And
I think the big draw there is you go up, if you've ever been to the Empire State Building, they have this elevator, which is like this experience. And it's the same thing where you're kind of being beamed up into the space station, and then that's where you actually eat your meal.
Correct.
So I'm really excited for the whole surround experience. I like experiential dining.
I'm interested to see what the menu will be, because it's one of those things where, especially everywhere around Epcot, there's all these different countries, so it's really easy to plan cuisine around the countries. But what's the cuisine for space?
Right,
and so I'm interested to see,
like international.
So I'm interested to see kind of what the chefs involved kind of do with the menu. So should be interesting.
Yeah. Next up, we have the Regal Eagle Smokehouse. This is a new barbecue place, which is going to be in the America Pavilion. I looked at the menus and it looks really cool. They're gonna have different barbecue from around the United States.
And people get very into their barbecue. And if you haven't tried different barbecues, I mean, there is differences as far as some are vinegary sauces versus sweet sauces versus different styles, whether it's KC or Carolina or Memphis. And so I think it gives a neat spin on the different types of cuisine you get around the World Showcase by showing the different types of cuisine you can have just in the United States. So again, it gives that variety, which is kind of cool.
And sticking with barbecue, there is a new restaurant going in right near the entrance to Toy Story Land. This is Rodeo Roundup Barbecue. And so it's going to be a sit-down restaurant. You're gonna eat kind of amongst Andy's toys.
Yeah, I think this one's gonna kind of move quickly. Yeah. They've already got a lot of the construction and the building and the planning and all of that. And it was, if you looked at a lot of the early concept art, if you ever saw that for when they were planning Toy Story Land, it was kind of already supposed to be there. And I think it was one of those things that didn't make it into the first round. because it's going to have old country western town feel because it's woody.
Yeah.
And so it's neat to see that's becoming a more complete part of the land.
Yeah, and I think it'll be good to have someplace to sit down and eat there. If you've been there, the seating around Woody's Lunchbox is a little bit limited. So I'd like another place to kind of sit down.
And I think the studios is going to continue to get more and more crowded. We're going to talk about one of the attractions in just a bit, but it's going to become a bigger park with more guests going, so you need more dining options outside of the ones that are already there. So it's good to see that they're expanding that.
Yes. Next, we have our new hotel that Disney has announced some more details on. This is the Star Wars Hotel, which is more like an experience. It's not really a traditional hotel.
As we've been talking about it, it's not really a hotel as much as it's like a land cruise. We said it's like you're going on a cruise and it's a land cruise. We actually had to call up for our next trip. I had to call up and make some different arrangements for the Disney Magical Express, and the woman on the line was talking to me about it. And when she was talking about it, the way she described it was, it's a kind of 2-day all-inclusive, everything is from start to finish. This is what you're doing. You're at your accommodations, and it's like you're in a Star Cruiser, and then at some point you go down into Batuu, and there's a whole part of that experience, but it's meant to be.
They released some pictures of what the actual transport vehicles are going to be. So you will take the transport vehicle from your cruiser ship to Batuu and be at Galaxy's Edge for a little while. And I was looking at some of the stuff that's available. They have lightsaber lessons. They're going to have experiences in the engineering room of the ship. They're going to have lounges where you can kind of sit and have a drink. It looks interesting. I'll be really interested to see what kind of price point they put on it.
Correct.
To see, you know, how Star Warsy we really want to get.
And how available it is to the regular traveler. Again, if it's like a cruise, it may be a little bit more expensive. It's going to be all inclusive. So it'll be interesting to kind of see that.
Yeah. Last but not least, the rides. Today, if you've been on YouTube or any kind of Disney blog at all, today Rise of the Resistance opened. We will save our thoughts for our December trip.
I am fighting every urge I can to watch all of the ride POVs. Like I didn't watch any Smuggler's Run stuff before, and I was glad because I wanted to kind of be surprised and experience it for the first time, just fresh and live. And so I've been really fighting that urge to watch all the stuff.
I completely gave in to the urge, and literally 2 seconds after somebody forwarded it to me, I tried to be patient, then couldn't. It looks absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. I cannot wait. Cannot wait. So, what we also got is 2 more rides that are coming. Remy's Ratatouille Adventure is coming to Epcot next summer.
And we kind of knew that was coming, but they've started releasing more. They actually released some images of the ride vehicles and in the interiors. And so you're starting to get a better picture of the fact of how it is a trackless ride that incorporates screens with live action set pieces and all of that to create a more sort of enveloping experience as opposed to it just being a standard old dark ride that you might be used to.
And that is coming from Disneyland Paris. So if you want to see what that is all about, you can check out some POVs from Disneyland Paris.
Correct.
The new ride that is coming to Hollywood Studios is Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. This has been in the works forever and a day since the Great Movie Ride closed. But now Disney has finally announced that this is going to be opening on March 4th in 2020. And some people are actually, we've seen some sneak peeks of like the loading, initial holding kind of area.
Yeah, when they had their media day for Rise of the Resistance, a bunch of the people also got to go in and see the lobby and the pre-show area for it. And one of the things that I'm interested to kind of see is that they kept the lobby very similar to where it was for the Great Movie Ride. So they left that nostalgia and left that kind of 30s and 40s Hollywood feel. And then there's a couple of things they've kind of been alluding to. There's a couple of sort of tricks that they're going to incorporate right in off the bat in the pre-show, which is kind of interesting to see.
This is a ride where you're going to take the Great Movie Ride vehicles, but you're going into the new Mickey and Minnie cartoons, essentially. And
I think they're like, it's interesting because when you look at the vehicles, they're gonna look like the Great Movie Ride vehicles, but they're smaller. It looks like a train, so it's less people, but it's trackless. So I'm interested to see how it's similar and how it's different. I'm also excited because it's the first ride that's using Mickey as kind of the star. Yeah. And so they're going to have a couple of new shorts that you're going to see in the pre-show, and you're going to get to experience the ride with Mickey. So it's going to be a fun experience, I think.
And I think it's cool to see Disney taking all of the technology to the next level. Like take this idea of using screens and using interaction and Disney-fying it. So I cannot wait. I'm excited to see Rise of the Resistance. I'm excited to see Runaway Railway. I'm excited for it all.
And so, as you can see, there's a lot of really exciting things, I think, happening over the next, say, 2 years. We were even just saying that it seems like every time you go now, there's lots of new things to experience. So that really makes each visit kind of new and exciting.
Yeah. So what are you excited to see? Let us know in the comments. Definitely like this video, subscribe so you can keep up with all of our latest adventures, including when this man finally gets on Rise of the Resistance and may or may not cry like a baby. And with that,
we invite you to set your imaginations free.
Bye.